Welcome back to the Fake Straight Podcast. I am the host, your girl, Tanara. Please note that the opinions expressed by any guests on this show do not necessarily represent my views or the views of Fake Straight Media. This podcast is intended for mature audiences only. Listener discretion is advised. Grab your favorite beverage or mine, a glass of champagne, clink clink, and let's get into it, y'all. Y'all, welcome back to another episode of Fake Straight Podcast. I am your host, your girl, Tanara. And today I have internet sensation. Should I say internet sensation? That sounds like a lot, but she's super hilarious. Super hilarious. Mindy, you want to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Mindy, and I think I'm a regular person who just yaps too much on the internet. That is what I do. I talk a lot. Sometimes I need to shut the hell up.
No, never. Mindy is so hilarious. I discovered her on TikTok because a lot of my straight friends were actually sending me her videos where she's talking about being bisexual and just funny stories. And Mindy, you're such an excellent storyteller. So love all the things.
Thank you.
From your TikTok. Now, I don't want to seem like a stalker, but I follow you on TikTok. So I know you're Haitian. You grew up in New York?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And live in LA now?
Yes.
You identify as bisexual openly?
Yes. Even though I feel like I go back and forth a lot because I had a moment with myself and I was like, do you actually like men or do you like the attention that you get from them? And I had to keep it real with myself. And I was like, I lean more towards women, but I know that there are certain scenarios where I would entertain a man. I haven't really come to that conclusion yet, but I think I'm like 80-20.
Okay. Yeah.
You know?
I was listening to some of your TikToks earlier and I was like, I think Mindy's gay. So
no, I think I am too. Listen, every other day, I had to sit down with one of my friends literally at a restaurant, sat down, held her hand, and I was like, I'm a lesbian. And she's like, okay, all right. Are you sure? I was like, yep. I was like, all the years of back and forth, I genuinely feel like I don't really care for men, you know? Yeah. Like I had a moment where I was like, you know, when I was dating, if I was dating a man right now, I would probably have to express to him that I'm always going to have a want to be around like a feminine energy, you know? Like that might be a thing for me, you know? Where I might want to not have an open relationship, but like, I don't know what that would look like, but I would always have that need for that. In a relationship with a woman, I've never felt like, ooh, I really need a man around.
Yeah, I say that.
Never.
Like, I don't miss them. It's like no shade. Like, I don't miss like, I don't know, like pumping my gas, maybe like traditional male things if you get a good one. Like those kind of traditional things. But like other than that, I'm like, it's just not that interesting to me.
Oh my God, we're getting deep off top. Because I was on a date. I'm dating someone right now pretty regularly. And we were on a date and she's masked, right? She's not like a stud. I've dated studs and I think studs have a lot of like deep rooted misogyny in a lot of the way that they carry themselves, the way they treat women, all that. And I have dated a lot of people in that archetype, right? Yeah. So it's very similar to dating a man where they automatically do certain things, you know? I've been dating this one person for about like almost 3 months now. And she basically was like, hey, you got to start paying for some meals. I was like, what?
Sitting over there looking cute, like waiting for the check to come, looking around.
No, like she had paid for it, and then afterwards she was like, so where are you at when it comes to like dates and things like that? Like if I suggest something, of course I'm gonna pay for it, but like if you want to do something, do you still expect me to pay for it? Because she was like, that's not really what I'm into, like, you know, equal opportunity, because she is very much so a woman, you know, she's in her feminine energy. She's just in boy clothes. And so I was like, damn, I need to check myself. Because
Yes.
I think that that is just, the heteronormative like way of thinking where it's like, I'm the pretty princess. Like, of course, I'm never bringing my wallet out.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
don't
like,
take my wallet
damn,
out, open my doors, do all the things. And you're used
yeah.
to that with men. And then when you date either masculine women or even some stems, I'm like, take care of me. And it's like, it's not right.
Yeah, and like there are levels of take care of me that I know you are more than willing to do. But
Yeah.
I think it's the expectation that
Yes.
kind of like is offensive in a way. And I had to check myself. I was like, damn, that is kind of fucked up. You
Yeah.
know?
I remember I dated this woman and she was pretty masculine. And so she said it was something she had to do. And she was like, I guess I got to get out and pump the gas because I wear the boy clothes. And I was like, so I'm like, you're not wrong. But I do think that if it's not the expectation, I know it's something that I appreciate because I date stems. I've dated a
Mhm.
feminine woman, but my type is like usually more stem. So I don't know. I kind of have that conversation at the beginning, like, okay, what are the expectations? Like, what do we do? Because I don't mind taking care of you, but I like to be taken care of. But I don't know. It's something about pulling my wallet out. Just don't sit right with me.
Okay. So I've literally been thinking about this and I'm like, I need to have a conversation with her because it's not that I don't want to pay. I want to feel like,
I'm taken care of.
yes, like
Yeah,
that is part of
yeah,
my love language. Like I love that. Like I will do
yeah,
whatever, I'll do the things. I'll surprise you. I'll buy,
yeah.
I'll make dinner. I'll whatever you want me to order in, I'll order in. I don't mind that. But when we get dressed up and we go somewhere, I just like even last night we went out and we had this conversation a few days prior. So I was like, okay, like Mindy, we're paying. And
Uh-huh.
it's the money didn't bother me. It's the
Yeah,
fact that even when the server came, she slid the bill to her
yeah.
because it's already automatically assumed, like, okay, you're paying. And then I had to reach over and grab it. And like, it just made me feel like, I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't. And that's exactly how I am. I'm like, I'll buy the groceries, I'll cook the meal. And to me, that's actually more than just paying for something. If I'm going shopping for the groceries, I'm paying for the groceries. I cooked gumbo for my woman yesterday. That was 4 hours out of my life. Okay. Like you
Yeah.
paid $160 for a meal. I like that, but it's like I love being taken care of.
And that's the thing. I need to learn how to balance out my femininity with, a little bit more masculinity. What's so funny is when I began dating women, I felt like I was deeper into my femininity than I ever had been before. Like I'm like giggling and like I'm very girly. But
Yeah.
when I was dating men, I was never really like that.
Mm,
Like I always felt like I was in control. I
yeah.
always felt like I had the upper hand and I enjoyed that power dynamic. Like, yes, you pay for everything, you open the doors, whatever, but like I run this,
Yeah. Yeah.
And dating women, I feel so much more vulnerable,
Yeah.
so much more like, comfortable in being feminine because like you're a woman too. You understand,
Yeah. And
you
depending
know?
on what type of woman you date, to me, if it is like a more masculine presenting woman, like they appreciate that. I don't know. It's like for men, it's just like, okay, regular, degular. But like
Yes.
for women, they're like, oh my God, you're so feminine. You're so soft.
I
I'm like,
love that. I get that shit all the time. I love that. Ooh, it gets me going. Like, yes, I'm a pretty princess. Like literally the woman that I'm dating right now, she says it all the time. She's like, "You're so feminine."
yeah.
Yes.
You're like, thank you. Let me
Ooh, yes. I worked on this. This is therapy. Thank you.
squeeze. How long have you been dating women?
I like would dip and dabble. You know what's so funny? I never really came out.
Okay.
You
I was
know?
gonna ask you about that.
The first encounter I ever had with a woman was in college, freshman year of college.
Hmm.
And then I had like experiences here and there, but I was in a long term relationship with a man. It was like 7 years long.
Well,
So I was just with this one person. After that, it was like a slow build for me, because I felt like I thought I knew who I was. And I had to come to terms with the fact that I was kind of ashamed of
mm,
the fact. And it's because of the way that I was raised.
yeah.
And, coming from a Haitian family, super duper religious.
Ooh.
And the irony of it is everybody in my family is gay. But like, listen, we're gonna get into it. I promise you, everybody in my family is gay.
Uh-huh.
But there's still this huge pressure of just like, not you though, or like not none of my kids. Like my mom is very much like
Yeah.
not in my family.
Mm,
Um, And I like carried a shame about it. But like I knew what it was since I was young. You know how when you're growing up, you get into porn, you start
Yeah.
watching it. It's like,
Yeah.
I never watched hetero porn. Hated it.
Ever.
Hated it. Never. And I didn't understand. In my mind, I like tried to rationalize and I was like, maybe I like girl on girl because I'm just that feminine. Like I just love seeing myself playing both roles, but like no. And it was either that or the only like hetero porn I would watch would be like foreplay shit, you know, where
Okay.
it's like him catering to her. And
Mhm.
in my mind, I was like, oh, but it's romantic. But it's like, no, I just like seeing those actions because
Yeah.
that is still very girl on girl, you know?
Yeah.
I just, I really, I kept it to myself. And
Mm.
I would have these experiences. I would meet these women. I would go on these dates and stuff. It wasn't until I was at a party, it wasn't even like a LGBTQ situation. I saw this woman, beautiful, the type of stud no one should ever fall for.
Oh
6 foot, locks,
no.
no
I knew it.
drink, okay, former basketball player, just
No.
yes, big chains, like ooh,
No.
yeah. And I
Bad.
remember I saw her and I was like, I need that, and
Yeah.
I just like full blown went and never looked back. Never looked back.
Wow. Like, how did you tell your family, or did you just bring a woman around?
Well, okay, so the funny thing is, my mom asked me when I think it was 19. She pulled me aside. I came home from school. I was in college. Came home and I walked through the doors, her and her best friend, and she was like, Mindy, I need to talk to you. Sat me down and she looked at me dead in my face and she was like, Mindy, are you gay? And I was shook because I didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. And I was like, why? Why are you asking that? She's like, because all of your friends are gay. You don't bring any boys to the house. I've met 3 of your sister's boyfriends. You've never brought a single man to the house ever. Are you gay? And I said, would you love me any less? And she said, you answer the question. I said, you answer the question. And we were at a standstill. And it just became like this like quiet thing between us for like years.
Wow.
And it wasn't until a few years ago that I started like dropping little hints, right?
Yeah.
My mom is like super into the church. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, she would definitely disown me, right? Like, so I had that in mind, but I would still drop little hints here and there. So whenever I would do that, she would get really mad at me and like hang up the phone. So then we were out on like a family trip with my mom's side of the family in Aruba, and I had said something, and she just like stopped talking to me for the rest of the trip. It got really weird and toxic. I ended up talking to my dad about it because I came out to my dad. My dad was like, "Okay, cool.
Oh wow.
I have a brother. He's gay too."
Yeah.
And I have my dad is a twin. His twin brother, my uncle, has a son. He's gay too.
Okay.
Like when I tell you that everybody in my family is gay.
My family. Like, what are we doing? Why is anyone upset?
I told my dad was just like, as long as you're being safe, cool. So I thought that he accepted it because his response to me was, as long as you're being safe, it's fine. I just want to make sure that you're good. Love that. That's so beautiful. After this trip, I stopped talking to my mom because she had them lay hands and pray on me. And and I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this no more. This is getting out of hand. Yeah. So I was like,
pray this gay away immediately.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yes. So I stopped talking to her, and my dad called me one day and he was like, you have to talk to your mom. And I was like, no, I don't. He was like, you have to. And I said, okay, but she doesn't accept me. I went on this whole thing. I was like, she just refuses to accept me and blah, blah, blah. And this is who I am. That's not going to change. My dad was like, I'm going to keep it real with you right now. Your mom is never going to accept it. If you decide that you want to get married to someone, we're not coming to the wedding. I was like, what if I find my person and this is someone that I'm spending the rest of my life with? Yeah. You are my parents. You don't want to meet this person. You don't want to get to know them. And he was like, no.
Damn. He was like, absolutely not. Just keep acting straight in front of the family, okay? And we'll be fine.
He was like, I beg of you, please. He literally was like, please, Mindy, I beg. Stop trying to get your mom to accept it. And whenever you come home, just pretend. He was like, you live in LA. Be free. I'm happy for you. And when you come home, pretend. It's not going to hurt anyone.
But me.
So, I'm at a point with my family where it just is what it is. My brother and my cousin, they're really great support systems because like they're significantly older than me. And so they've been dealing with it for a while. Like my brother came out to my dad almost 10 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. We have like a 13-year age gap between us.
Mm-hmm.
And my other cousin, he's very feminine, so he couldn't even hide it for real. We all knew. My brother, he's more masculine, so like it was more of a shocker when it came to him. They both were just like, it is what it is. Like don't shorten your lifespan by stressing yourself out trying to get people to accept you. You accept you. You have family that accepts you. You have people that love you. Focus on that.
Yeah.
Well, that is what I do now. Focus on that.
Good. I always say that this is my life. I'm grown. Y'all aren't asking me to help y'all make decisions in y'all life. Why would I be like, oh, you don't accept me? Well, let me not date women. The world doesn't even make sense to me to be like, you don't like what I'm doing in my life. That's not harming anybody and actually bringing me lots of joy. Why would I stop doing that?
Also, what am I doing that's so wrong? What like crime am I committing? I'm not doing anything other than just existing and just being who I was born to be. Like I genuinely believe I've always been this person.
Yeah.
I just convinced myself that I wasn't. Yeah. I do believe that there are people who are fully bisexual. I do also believe there are a lot of women who convince themselves that they are because you want to feel a bit of normalcy,
Oh, absolutely. I say it's like sometimes I feel like bisexuality is a baby step into gay. It could because it's okay, well, I'm just open, but I'm not. And so it also gives you that wiggle room with family and friends that feel uncomfortable. So if you bring around a woman, then they're like, oh, but you'll marry a man or you'll end up with a man. So it gives them hope. And it's y'all don't need to have hope for me. Y'all don't need to have hope that I'm marrying a man, that I'm having a baby with a man. Y'all don't need to have that hope for me. Like I'm good. Yeah.
Because that's your hope. You don't know what I want for my life for real. I might not even want kids. Why am I so stressed to find a man? I'm okay. And that's the thing too. I think that what bothers my parents the most and what they always will say, like my dad said this to me, my mom said this to me, but you're so pretty. Like, but there are so many men. Like my mom one day, like she's so fucking dramatic. She's so dramatic. I came home to visit. She was like, let's go visit your grandmother's grave. We do that often. Change the flowers out, all that. Love my grandma down. It's my dog, We go and we bought flowers. I get there. I start dusting off, the tombstone or whatever so we can put the new flowers there. My mother drops down to her knees, puts her hands up and says, Mama! Starts screaming out for her mom.
No.
She's like, please, I beg of you, help Mindy. She's lost. She doesn't know what life is about. She thinks life is all about makeup and clothing. And she doesn't understand that if she doesn't find a man and settle down soon, she's going to lose out on life. Please save her.
First of all, not her low-key roasting you while she's praying to your grandmother. She thinks life is all cotton candy. Like, hold on, not too much, mama.
I am grown. I got my life together. Relax. Calm down on me. When we got in the car, I was like, what is wrong with you? She was like, Mindy, we go out all the time. We go out places. We go to the grocery store. We go to church. I see men. They look at you. Why aren't you looking back? And I said, because I don't want them.
I'm not interested.
I don't want them. Yeah. And I don't think that makes sense to a lot of people.
Yeah. It's like I didn't start dating women because I couldn't get a man. That's not why I started dating women. And then also, I don't understand that whole thing. It's like, why is everything reduced down to like who I am dating? I have a successful career. I have 2 degrees. I'm working on my 3rd degree. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I don't have any baby daddies, baby mamas. Isn't that success? Isn't that what you wanted for your child? Someone that grew up to be a productive member of society.
But you know what? I will say this though. I think that my mom's definition of success is marriage. You know, like she would be happy if I had no career, but a husband. She'd be so happy with that. If I had grandchildren that she could show people, if I had a man that she could brag about, if he has a career, you don't need one. He got it. you know?
My mom and I got into it because sometimes she supports, sometimes she doesn't, just depend on what side of the bed she wakes up on. Last year, she was asking me about a vacation me and my ex-girlfriend had just gotten back from. Out of nowhere, she said, I hope before I close my eyes and leave this earth, dramatic, I hope that you are married to a tall, God-fearing man. And she said, and you have a baby.
Of course. Of course.
I said, Mama, what about me made you think I wanted to have a baby? If I wanted to have a baby, I would have had a baby by now.
That's easy.
Yeah, like that's not my gig. And I told her, I said, don't I look like I have a good life? Don't I look successful? I was like, I'm good. And she was like, well, don't get mad. Don't get mad. I'm just saying. And I was like, okay, bye.
You know,
Frustrating.
it's interesting because I expected my mother's reaction. Nothing about the way that she reacted was foreign to me. Like, I expected that. My dad, a little bit of a shocker because I thought that he was more progressive, and hearing him say he wouldn't come to my wedding and that he preferred me to lie about it. He even said something about, what are people going to think? To me, that was a bit disappointing, but he is not talking to me,
Yeah.
He's still like, I love you, but let's pretend. That was a bit of a shocker for me. I think what shocked me the most probably was certain friends' reactions. You know, like I have certain friends who are near and dear to me, and the way that they reacted, it's like comical. I have one really good friend, and he's a gay man. He was so sad when I told him that I want to primarily date women. Because he thought I was playing, do a little thing here, a little thing there, whatever. He was like, oh no, like you're serious? He was like, oh no. Mindy, I've always imagined you to be married to a tall, chocolate, successful athlete, this, that, whatever. And I'm like, of all people, why do you have a problem with this? That blows my mind. But when we got down to it, he was like, being gay isn't fun all the time. He was like, all the shit that you have to deal with and put up with, the nasty remarks. He was like, I don't want that for you. He was like, I can't hide the fact that I'm gay. I've been dealing with it my whole life. I don't want you to experience the negative side of it. And I'm like, that's very sweet, but also I have to be me.
Yeah.
I have to exist the way that I am. Another friend of mine, when I started speaking publicly about the women that I was dating and my past situations and relationships and all that, she saw my TikToks and shit. And we all ended up going out because, like, there's a friend, but we don't see each other that often.
It's not a deep friendship.
Yes. She was like, Mindy, why didn't you tell me that you date women? And I said, I didn't realize it was a topic of conversation. I mean, you're straight. What do I have to talk to you about it for? She's like, can I ask you a question? Why haven't you ever tried to fuck me?
What? Oh, now I'm offended. Wait a minute. Awkward. This is awkward.
Now, granted, we were out, we were drinking. It's still not an excuse because I was like, girl, just because I like pussy don't mean I like everybody's.
This is weird.
Like, what are you even talking about? She's like, I just don't understand. Why wouldn't you ever try to fuck me? Am I not your type?
Oh my God. Now she's hitting on you.
Girl, no, she's violently straight. No. The thing is, I've noticed that people like to make your sexuality, your situation, your journey about them.
Absolutely.
Always about them.
Because either they can't see themselves in this situation or they don't understand, or they're like, didn't you want this? And again, that's what you wanted. You wanted to get married and have kids at 21. I don't care, male or female, that wasn't going to be my life. But they insert themselves inside of your situation or who's interested in you just because you identify as either bisexual or lesbian. And that's weird.
And I think that is something that I have had to come to terms with, but also try to distance myself from. People make it all about sex.
Yeah,
that is the primary thing. Where if it's like the fucking is a thing. Like, oh, you're just nasty. You're just a freak.
Yeah.
No, baby. I like the way that I feel when I date a woman. Like there are certain insecurities I didn't realize only existed because I was in relation with a man. Things like pubic hair. I just thought I had to be shaved and waxed. And I would be so embarrassed if I had any kind of hair going on. And literally every woman I've ever dated, unless they were a super stud and kind of misogynistic, did not give a fuck at all. Just like, what are you talking about? Like
I'm not tripping.
not tripping at all. Stretch marks, don't give a fuck.
At all.
A little gut, don't give a fuck.
Love it. They love it more. They love it more. They're like,
I don't think I've ever loved my body as much now as I ever have in my life. And it has nothing to do with like me being in better shape, because I'm not. I've been in better shape.
Yeah.
I just don't have insecurity anymore when it comes to it.
100%. The woman I'm dating now, oh my God, this woman is amazing. And like, that's one of the things. My friend was laughing because she's like, when you're on the phone with her, you're all being sexy and sweet. And I was like, she makes me feel that way. I saw your TikTok about your aura and being too silly and too goofy.
Yes.
That's me. I want to be like, oh, she's so mysterious and sexy. But I'm like, I'm having a good time. I'm here for a good time. And so the woman I'm dating now, she appreciates that funny side of me. But then I feel sexier because she's like, damn, you're so sexy in this.
Oof, love that. Love that.
Girl.
And it's like, but the thing is, and you know, it's truthful. Like,
Yes,
you're not saying that because you're just like, oh, well, this is what I have to say to get laid. No, like, you really mean that. Like, middle of conversation, we'll just like say something, and I know you mean that from your chest, because I'll do the same too. I'll be like, God damn, you are so beautiful, because it's literally what I'm thinking in the moment, you know? Like, I think that I never experienced true romance until I dated a woman.
1,000%. 1,000%.
Never.
Even like, I mean, and that's what, and I won't even say people, because I feel like before, I've been dating women now for 11 years, right? And so when I first started dating women, just like yourself, I was like dating like masculine women. So I treated it as if I were dating a guy, to be honest. Like, I did the same thing. I didn't really do nothing. I did the same thing I was doing when I dated guys. Nothing. And so I used to think about this too. Like, you would hear people and they're like, oh, she's dating a stud, or she's dating a woman that dresses like a guy. Like, you might as well just date a guy. When I started dating women, I'm like, oh my God, like how wrong you are, because this is literally just the clothing. It's literally just the clothing.
That's it.
Like, the way you date a woman, and like, a good woman, again, you got to distinguish a good woman, and how they take care of you, how they cater to you, how they show up for you. Like the sweet ass text messages during the middle of the day. It's so romantic. It literally stops you. You're like, wait, what?
Time you spend time together, it's literally like there is romance in the room. There's romance in the space. I was in a relationship with a man for 7 years. We had to like plan and make space for romance. It was a separate entity outside of our relationship. And like, we had fun, we had conversation, we were friends, we had friendship. But romance exists outside of that. And it's literally like the little things, like remembering little things that, oh, I said I enjoyed that. And next thing, when you come over my place, you have it with you. Or like, you know, I told you I love this kind of flower. And without even thinking, on a random Tuesday, boom, flowers. And it's just like, because that's the type of shit that I'm going to do for you too. And we're just romancing each other back to back, just like ping ponging it back and forth.
Yes. And you're just
love that
for each other. And even like my girlfriend, she says, and I've never heard a guy say this, right? She was having a really long day at work and like lots of stuff going on. And like, I had like a fake busy day. Like, I'm in grad school. I was busy where I work full time, whatever. But she had a way, way crazier day. So I'm going over to her house and she's like, hey, you seem like you have a crazy day. What can I do for you? How can I help you today? What can I? Oh my, marry me.
Love that. Love that. Love that. Love. And I have had bad relationships with women.
Oh, absolutely.
No,
let's get into that. I like to share that it's not the gender. It's just people can be crazy. People can be crazy.
It's people. Listen, I've dated the womanizing stud. I've dated the, you know what? I think the craziest ones I've come across are the dom femmes.
Oh, tell me.
Because the studs will push you to a certain level, but they still have like that they want to maintain that like chivalry where it's like, I'm not gonna argue with you like a bitch, you know? But when it comes to like the more feminine women that I've dated, oh, they don't give a fuck. I one time was dating this girl and we were locked in. I thought that we were locked in at least. We weren't in a relationship, but we were talking on the phone every day and going on dates. And I was spending days at her place. I just got a drawer in her apartment. You know, like I had like a drawer for little levels, toothbrush, whole 9, headscarf in the spot, right? And she like went ghost on me one day, and it was a Sunday. It was Easter Sunday. It was Easter Sunday. And I went to church with my friends, and we were going to go to a day party afterwards because we're in LA and that's just what people do. And okay. So I told her what my plans were, and the day party was being thrown by a mutual friend. So it was like a gay event, but for the boys and for the girls all together. Mm-hmm. So I told her that I was going to go because I wasn't going to go originally. She just went ghost, didn't say anything. So I was like, okay. I hit her up. Hey, are you still going? Because if you're going, like, you know, let's link. Quiet, nothing. All right. I get to the event. I'm there for all of 2.5 seconds, and I spot her, and she is literally in a bitch's neck, just like here.
Shut up.
Swear.
Shut
so
up.
I'm like, oh my God, I got to calm down. I'm not going to make a scene. I refuse. It's Easter Sunday. I literally just came from church. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to make a scene. It's fine. I tell my friends, they're like, oh, fuck her, fuck that bitch, whatever. They're like, here, let's take shots, drinks. Uh-huh. It was a venue where there was a party inside and then also like a patio outdoor area. So it was like 2 big spaces. So she was inside, we went outside. Eventually she makes her way outside. I spot her again, a different bitch, kissing on this bitch's neck.
What?
So I'm like, oh my God. Okay. My friends are like, Mindy, turn around, fuck her, ignore it.
Yeah.
Oh, try me so hard. Eventually she comes over. She's like, oh my God, Mindy, hey. Like she hadn't seen me. And I know she saw me, but she to this day refused to admit that she saw me. Yeah. She's like, oh, she didn't see me at all, whatever. So then she's like, trying to talk to me. She says hi to my friends. I walk away, ignore her. So she comes over. She's like, you're just not going to talk to me? And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to talk to you. Like, bitch, the fuck? I just saw this and that and all these things. And so she's like, oh, you're just mad because you see me in my element.
Girl, bye.
So I'm like, you know what? Enjoy your element. Yeah. I'm gone. Like, enjoy your element. Pretend I'm not even here. Go inside, right? She goes into the spot the area that I'm at, goes to the bar, walks past me, sees me, has a drink in her hand, locks eyes with me, and goes, oh, you mad? Oh, you mad?
And I would have lost it. I would have had to leave. I would have lost it.
Oh, no. My friends had to literally like yank me and drag me outside. Made me leave. And what makes it worse is she started blowing me up. Pulled up to my building, was like, I'm outside, come outside.
She's toxic as fuck.
And then the entire time was gaslighting me into believing that never happened. She was like, that didn't happen. I said, yes, it did. She was like, no, it didn't. I was like, 4 of my friends were standing next to me. They all heard you and saw you do it. She was like, well, I've been drinking a lot tonight, so I don't know if that happened. If you say it happened, then you say it happened.
Oh my God. Don't talk to me no more. Bye. Nope. Give me my headscarf. Bye. Hell no.
So everybody's crazy. Men, women, doesn't matter. There's crazy in all the bunches.
As always, remember, you define you. Do not let others define you. Thank y'all so much for joining us for another episode of the Fake Straight Podcast. You can follow us on all the socials at Fake Straight Pod. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what you want to hear more of. Tell us what you love, what you didn't love. All that good stuff. And until next time, holla.